Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Physiology of Endurance Running podcast, Road to Valencia series, 5 weeks to go. Joined by Owain, Jen and special guest Dave Long, husband and coach of Jen. So we're gonna give him a bit of grief later, ask about Jen's stupid training and see what the rationale and thinking was behind it. And we can see if it's Jen to blame, executing poorly, or if it's just poor decisions on the coaching end. But no, I'm joking. Dave's doing a great job. Got Jen to PBs over 10K and half marathon. Is that right, Disco?
I think so, yeah. I think, and 2 GB teams as well. Let's mention that as well. That was a big part of this year. But yeah, no, thanks very much for having me on. I feel like I'm a bit of a undersell compared to your last guest, but I'll do my best.
No, you're great. And obviously good runner in your own right. 30 flat for 10K. Is that right?
Yeah,
30:01.
Thanks for that one. Yeah, thank you.
Just to rub that in there. 66:12 and is also running Valencia in December debut marathon. So it'll be great to see how that goes as well. Before we get to that, Owain, can you talk to us about SOAR?
Yeah, so SOAR, I don't know if anyone saw, they had the really cool New York stuff at the weekend. That run looked good on the Friday morning that we were mentioning. But they have multiple events coming up. So they're doing another round of the Light the Night event, which we think they did last year. We couldn't remember if it was last year or the start of this year, but it's a series of events about basically bringing the spotlight to women being able to run in the darkness, basically. So they've got events in Melbourne, London, Warsaw, New York, and Edinburgh. First one's on the 11th of November, and then the last one's on the 13th. So if you're in any of those cities, have a look, because it's a SOAR event. It's going to be a good event. There's going to be some good kit out and about that evening. And supported by Nog as well, who make really good cycling lights as well. So big event. Good to get around with SOAR as always. We've all been training in the kit as well as always. I'm sure we'll go through what we've worn this week.
Speaking of New York, what do we think? And kit, what do we think of Kipchoge's get up at the marathon?
I honestly thought it was something his granite knitted and just accidentally not quite completed. So I'm not quite sure what's going on with that outfit.
It was it was worn at Western States, wasn't it? That top. So it's come from the trail running. That's where it. So if you followed Western States, the winner wore that get up, which makes maybe more sense in 30-degree weather and running 100 miles than New York. But
how hot was it in New York? Because I was reading up on it, and apparently it is to do with airflow and promoting airflow to help cool the skin, etc. But I didn't think it was that hot, was it?
No,
I thought there was floods in New York 2 days before the race. It was really bad rainfall.
Meteo gave it perfect. I think it said 1 second a K or something. It was and I saw they did a graphic of every day around it, and every other day was bad apart from the Sunday.
Oh, I saw that.
That's what you want, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you think it's just a Nike advert, then they go on sale in 2026 apparently. So maybe we've just done their job for them, started talking about their kit, and
we'll send the invoice.
They've got some free sponsorship out of us. So
Well, if you want to look better than Kipchoge, wear SOAR.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Lightweight, breathable.
Yeah. Definitely. I definitely put it through its paces this week in terms of hot, cold, rain, everything got chucked at it this week. Should we get into your week then, Jem?
Go on then. What day are we starting on? What's the date?
The 27th of October.
Cool.
Yeah.
So my Monday started off the back of the long run on the Sunday, which I was left to complete on my own because you were running a half marathon, Owain. And it was it was horrendous. So I was coming into this week a little bit in the oven, I reckon, but it was a well-timed by coach down week. So Monday was just a easy 47-minute run in the morning. And I actually started this run. I went on Map My Run. I planned out my little route. I wanted to go somewhere that wasn't the TAF, so I decided to go down on the Ely Trail, like make up a little route. And as I was doing it, Dave was looking over my shoulder, nodding away, going, "Oh yeah, that looks quite nice." And I said goodbye to him, went off on my run, got to the first set of traffic lights, and who's behind me? He's like fully stalking my route completely. So we actually ended up running together in the end. I took my headphones out, inside running. I couldn't listen to that anymore. So I had to run with him. But it was good. Got to Brodie's by the castle. And he bribed me into stopping my run and getting a coffee instead of rounding it up to an hour. So it was just the 47 minutes that day, with a little coffee and a walk home, which was quite nice.
So what was prescribed that morning, Dave?
Yeah, green compliance so far is what I would say if we're going to use Training Peaks. It's all good so far, although I had to convince her not to go for the full hour, trying to think, pull it down this week, medium week. She felt a bit cooked the day before. We need to relax this one, so had to bribe with the coffee, but I was happy enough as well.
So it's supposed to be 45 minutes, was it?
Yeah, the classic Jenny, you'll notice this, the classic Jenny Nesbitt is never on the money. It's always a little extra that you have to think about as well.
But I didn't go out for a double that evening. I stayed at home and I was tapping away on my laptop until gone 6 o'clock because I had no way to end my day. But I did finish off the day with a little bit of core and some, home gym stuff because I couldn't just sit on my arse and do nothing.
Of course not. You did core the day after Great North Run, didn't you? So you've got to do core if you've only got one run planned in.
Yeah, got to do something else, But that was
so that's
Monday.
quite a big drop in volume compared to your normal Monday, isn't it? Because you would normally do like Monday a 16 and a 10, right?
Yeah. So normal Monday is usually 16 miles. This Monday was just 6. So we're 10 miles down on the start of the week already, which is good for a down week.
So how were you feeling on this run? Were you in a hole?
I actually felt all right on this run. The theme of this week was my heart rate's just been like considerably higher. Well, I could say considerably, probably about 4 to 5 beats higher than it would normally be on an easy run, on any of the runs I've done this week. But my actual body and my legs have felt pretty good. So I'm not quite sure if I'm like a little bit cooked or I was like coming around and feeling fresh at the end of the week. And then I just had a few more beats to play with my heart rate as well. But the run in itself felt fine, to be honest. But I get a bit stressed if my heart rate goes a bit high. So then I look at it and then I think it just makes myself worse because I'm like, why is my heart rate high? And then I'm looking at it again. I'm like, I'm still going up. Oh my God. And I'm like just getting more and more stressed about it. A bit of a stress head.
That was a theme of yesterday's run without giving any, another theme of yesterday's run without giving too much away for next week. But I had to calm her down, give her some confidence again.
Nice.
So that was Monday. Then Tuesday morning, got up. I was probably meant to do an hour, so I did an hour and 7 minutes, 9 miles. I wrote, legs felt good, heart rate not giving me much confidence. At this point, I was thinking it was probably my heart rate monitor that was wrong and nothing to do with the stats it was giving me. It was just, probably needed a battery replacement or something, even though that did get replaced about a week ago. But aside from the heart rate being probably like 5-6 beats higher than normal, I actually felt really, really good and like popping along. So I just rolled with it for that run, hope for the best. And then I went out again in the afternoon with Dave, and this one felt a lot faster than it was. It was dark. I don't know about you boys, but like if I'm running in the dark, everything feels way faster than it actually is. So the first mile, which was 8 minutes, felt like we were running like 7:20s. So I didn't need to look down at my watch or like two-step Dave on this run because I genuinely felt like I was running 7:20s. So
you still did.
Why did you go on the path behind the hospital in the dark?
Which path?
The
behind the hospital.
Yeah, around the back of the heath. That's like the darkest path in Cardiff.
You're telling me, yeah. Well, this is not my route. This was Dave's route. It's horrendous, and like the way he does it as well. We start on the bike path as the students are leaving university, and they're all walking in the dark with their headphones in, so they can't hear us coming. And then we go up the massive hill by the Tesco's, then under the like bypassy bit, and then round the dodgy dark loop by the hospital. It's awful, and he thinks it's a great loop. So
That is
it's
an
out for
awful loop. 'Cause
discussion.
Eastern Avenue is such a horrible road to run along as well, and then not a fan really of that one.
Yeah, and I'm glad we're in agreement.
It's an honest loop. We like honest loops on here, I thought. We like honest loops. This is an honest loop.
No, you've got us confused with Jake Smith, I think. So I like Matt.
No, so did that, and I felt heart rate was a lot better that night, and I actually felt all right. So I put the Tuesday morning down to a dodgy heart rate monitor, and then Wednesday morning. So Wednesday's sessions have generally consisted of 70 to 75 minutes of running, including any sort of recovery, whereas this week was 52 minutes. So probably like 2/3 of the volume. I'm assuming that's what coach wanted, about 2/3 of the volume for the session.
Ballpark, yeah. It's just, again, to pull down the volume a little bit whilst we're still trying to start feeling better and getting some life back in. I think the week before was quite a tough week, big week. It's at the end of 3 stepping up progressive weeks as well. So I think, trying to do something that is still going to keep you moving but isn't like to the same volume or the same level. So it's about right. Yeah. So far so good.
Yeah, nailed it so far. And when I warmed up for this, it was like peeing it down with rain. It was a horrible morning, to be honest. I wasn't like that motivated to get out the door and go and do this, but got it done. The session was 2 by 10 minutes, 2 by 5 minutes, 5 by 2 minutes, all off 90 seconds jog. The 10 minutes was supposed to be sort of like Alti 1, then the 2 minutes, the 5 minutes sort of Alti 2, and then on my plan it said hammer the 2 minutes if you feel good.
I don't think hammer is definitely never used in anything I ever write. But yeah, go on. That's how it was interpreted. Yeah, go on.
So coach needs to be a bit more specific if he wants a pace for those 2 minute reps. That's all I'm saying before I get into the session details. But the first 10-minute rep was 5:47s. The second one was 5:44s. Then the 5 minutes were 5:19s, 5:17s, and then the 2 minutes 5:07, 5:05, 5:06, 5:02, 5:11. And to be honest, I did a similar session 2 weeks before this, and I couldn't break 5:20s. And running like 5:02, 5:05s felt really smooth compared to that. So I was pleased that I was able to like actually move a bit faster and not feel like a complete cart horse, which was nice. I probably didn't run LT1 for the 10 minutes. My heart rate was probably a little bit high for that. But apart from that, I think I executed this session quite well. And I think the purpose of it was to kind of be able to move through the gears a little bit, touch maybe slightly different system to like just the kind of the marathon paced, marathon effort, marathon feel sort of work we've been doing. And maybe it was meant to give me a bit of confidence, but I was saying to Dave the other day, nothing at the moment's giving me any confidence. Like that sort of stuff doesn't give me confidence to go and run a marathon because it's so far removed from what a marathon is in my head. So it definitely didn't give me any confidence to run a marathon, but I did walk away from that thinking I could probably run a good half marathon right now.
Do you want to comment on that, Coach?
All a little touch quick, but it goes back to just who Jen is, really. And when I set stuff, I always still put it to the true pace that I would like it, because I don't see the point of setting it slower for her then to just get quicker, because I think it then creates this dynamic that she's always going to have to go quicker. So I try to set it to the point of where I want it, but it's always in the ballpark of. So this is probably a touch quick, but it's also who Jen is. Like I wanted those 2 minutes. That's why I was given 90 seconds between 2 minutes. It's quite like generous, really, but wanted her to feel like she could still run, and that getting to those paces isn't a problem necessarily. It's still well within her capability. So that was the purpose of it. Again, still cut down session, getting some 2 minutes, getting some turnover in there. Probably the LT1's too quick. the LT2 5 minutes, I think, is a little bit swift as well. And then the 2 minutes were a bit more of a free for all, but yeah, not bad. Orange.
Orange. I mean, you've very deliberately, we've heard him over the last few weeks, been quite conservative with the speeds and intensities. This is pretty much the first time in quite a while from memory that you've been allowed to run a bit faster, Jen.
Yeah.
How did you feel having not done much of that?
A lot better than I thought I was going to feel compared to like how strides and things have been felt. But I think I've been so determined to keep in the sort of the strides element that I hate doing, because like everything I've read about that's like such an important part of like something you do in your training, especially when you're training for a marathon, is to like keep a bit of speed turnover in there somewhere. That actually when I came to do that session, I felt like I was moving off the ground a lot better than I thought I was going to do. Even in like the initial like first or 1 or 2 reps, I thought, oh, maybe I'm going to feel a bit stale and then I'll get into it. But actually from the gun, felt quite good doing it. And one thing that I surprised myself with was that I felt a lot stronger over like the back half of like a 2-minute rep than I have done in the past. I don't think I could like, in the past I probably could have touched like 4:55s ish doing that, but probably like fall apart and just like progressively slow down over the rep. Whereas I think here, like the actual ability to maintain the pace over the whole 2 minutes, like I feel like there's a lot of strength behind what I'm able to like output as well, if that makes sense.
You probably wouldn't have done that sort of session before after doing 2x10 and 2x5 minutes as well, would you?
No, never. So it's like, it is all, and again, it is also new to me. So I'm still trying to like figure out what to me each effort should feel like when I am fatigued as well. Like that for me is really hard, because I can just hammer, and like I can just hammer and hammer and hammer until I can't go anymore, which isn't always the best thing to do. But I think in this session and on this day, I think I probably executed it as well as I could do, and I think I felt a lot better doing it than I expected to do, which was a positive.
Nice.
So
you already hit 191 heart rate, so that's you've got another like 10 beats there at least, haven't you?
Oh, at least, yeah. I think like when I ran my 5K in the summer, I managed to get to, I think I averaged 193 for the 5K, and I got up to 202. So I've got loads of beats to play with.
Fair, yeah.
That 220 minus your age is all a load of rubbish.
I was doing some testing this week. I had one athlete in their max test to get to 215 beats per minute.
Wow.
215.
That's amazing.
I mean, I don't know what to think about that, but that's just crazy, isn't it?
That is mad. That is crazy. I think like well, especially my brother and I, like our heart rates are like insanely high compared to like the average runner. I think like he'd go out for a easy run and average like 180 beats a minute. I don't know how easy it is for him, but he can get it up high.
Right, nice. Should we move on?
Yeah, we'll move on. Well, yeah, afternoon, just an easy half an hour. And I got out before it got dark, so I just went out and back along the Taff. So that was Wednesday afternoon. And then Thursday morning, I did a 10-mile run, so just an hour and 15 minutes. Tried to make this one a little bit hilly, although 285 feet is probably not that impressive. I was speaking to Chris Jones the other day, and he was saying how much he enjoyed listening to this podcast, and then laughing about when we talk about elevation gain in our runs. So I was quite offended by that when he told me that it was just pathetic. So I need to try a bit harder, but I'm running a flat marathon, so it's not an issue right now.
87 meters in 10 miles is not a lot of elevation, is it? When you're deliberately trying to make it hilly.
It's all in rider as well, isn't it?
Yeah. I tried my best, guys. I tried my best.
Tried your best by running all the way up the Taff.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's all uphill, isn't it? So that was Thursday morning, and then Thursday afternoon, just another 30-minute easy run with Dave. We actually drove to the gym to like make sure we went to the gym after the run. So yeah, a 4:30 p.m. run, just about made it back to the gym before we couldn't see anything on the Taff, and then into the gym for just 40 minutes. That's all I could manage, to be honest. I'm getting less and less motivated to do the gym. But just the
All right, so
standard
coach,
stuff.
this is one thing that I challenged Jen on a few weeks ago. 30-minute runs. What's the rationale behind a 30-minute run?
So
Is
probably
this just to
comes
stop Jen going nuts and fill some time in her day, or do you think there's much benefit to this 30-minute run?
it comes back to who Jen is, and like I think you've talked about it before, but I've got written down on my notes performance profile, and I think that's obviously her lactate profile, all her physiology, and all that kind of side. But also, if we look at Jen in terms of the psychology of her, half an hour, if I'm allowed to give her a 30-minute run, that's almost like me pulling her back a little bit. I am never allowed to put any kind of rest days or anything particularly less than that. But if you look like the way you said, even on the 47-minute run, and we had to do core after it, I have to play around with this a little bit to be able to kind of like get her to pull back just a touch. And it's more, like I say, it's more just a flush out, like really more than anything. I'm not convinced the benefits there, obviously, in the 30 minutes, but as a kind of like consistency over many, many weeks, it's still going to have some value, I think. I think it will still have value, but it's more of just pulling her back slightly as well. Because otherwise, she will never just take that sort of afternoon off or anything like that. So we still do something, but it's not, shouldn't cost a lot to her, if that makes sense.
No, that's good. It's good defense. I could tell you prepped that.
He's been thinking about that answer for weeks.
Yeah. Longer than I'd like to say, yeah.
So
I think, in the context of just our overall training volume, then like it's not going to take away, is it? It's only going to add. And I'm sure if Jen does another marathon, maybe it becomes 35, 40 minutes. But you're already doing also the highest volume you've ever done, and maybe that's because you are breaking it up and keeping durations of each run like under control, like high frequency, not going nuts on the duration, and you're also doing 75 minutes in the morning, so that adds to it as well.
I worked out the other day my last 14 weeks, including like the weeks we've had down for like the wedding and I did a race, I've averaged 99.5 miles, which is like the most mileage I've ever strung together in a 14-week period. So something must be like working out all right. Maybe it's the extra 3 or 4 minutes I add to all my runs that's boosted the mileage a little bit, but
I mean, that's more than I'm averaging. I can do that without I can do that without getting my calculator out. But yeah, it's building something that's sustainable, isn't it? If you can do 14 weeks where you're averaging 99 miles, then that's sustainable, which is how you run a fast marathon.
Hopefully, fingers crossed, guys.
Yeah, I got faith.
I would say that I'm still a little nervous. I would definitely say that 99 as an average is quite high. I don't know if I had that originally planned to be that high, but then it's like anything. As we kind of go through it, obviously I'm listening to Jen. It's a very different relationship perhaps to than other coach athlete ones, where I get to hear how she is almost day to day, hour to hour, pretty much. So we can make more decisions on the fly. So it's quite unique from that aspect. So I think she's handled it well so far, but I am still a little bit nervous, and because I'd like to sort of err on the side of caution more than anything. We'll see. We've got a couple of weeks to go yet.
Nearly home and dry. Nearly.
It's two more big weeks really in my head, and then it's kind of into the taper, which I'm sure I'll be a nightmare to live with at that point. But we're not there yet. I'll move on to my Friday of this week, which started with another just an hour and 5 minutes this day. So I think this was meant to be an hour's run, and Dave did finish at an hour, and I just decided I was going to add on a little bit extra. So whilst he waited the lights, I did a little loop. But it was a lovely little run together. I'm trying my hardest at the moment not to two-step him too much. I don't know if he can confirm or deny whether my attempt's been good or bad.
I would say there's definitely more awareness that I am being dropped. Whether it's definitely a 1.5 step. Does that count? That's progress, right? We want progress. So that's good.
So just 1.5 stepping him on the Friday morning, and then on the Friday afternoon, we went out. It was Halloween. I think it was Halloween. The trick and treaters were out, and we were on the really bad loop again, down back behind the hospital.
This one looks worse.
Wow, this one I decided to go the other way this time. I can't believe you said that, Owain. That's so nasty.
It's the running down North Road, which I think, yeah, because
that,
at least
that bit was all right. The worst bit was when we were coming up Cathays and we were crossing at the Lidl supermarket where there is a zebra crossing. We were on the crossing, we looked both ways, and as we crossed the road, this old little guy in a little, I think it was a Fiat or something, decided it needed to turn left immediately, so got himself onto the pavement as Dave was running across the pavement to try and turn left. It was absolute carnage, and I got to his window, and I like threw my hands up in the air. I was like, "Mate, what are you doing?" Like losing my crap. So it was an eventful first 5 minutes, to be fair.
You did well to get through that run in one piece, by the sounds of it.
Yeah, I did get asked if I wanted a sweet from a kid as well. He held his little box of sweets out for me and asked if I wanted one, but I wasn't really.
Did you take him up on that?
I'm not really a celebrate. I don't really celebrate Halloween, to be honest. So I did just say thank you and continued to run.
Wasn't a precision gel, so you weren't taking
it.
Exactly.
It wasn't going to help me in that moment, so I just decided not. But yeah, 31-minute run for the Friday night, and then Saturday morning. See, this is where it all starts to go a bit wrong, guys. So in my head, I had calculated that I was going to run exactly 85 miles this week, and I went out for my Saturday morning run, planning to run just between 45 and 50 minutes. And as soon as I got home, I was outside. I got a phone call, and apparently we were out of coffee beans. So I had to then run all the way to Brody's to buy a bag of beans and run back again. So my run ended up being 1 hour and 6 minutes. So that wasn't my fault. I could not have helped the additional mileage on this morning. But it was
that was described by your coach, so obviously he had other ideas for your weekly mileage.
Exactly. So it was a nice 9-mile run, and actually felt pretty good this day. Yeah, I was running 7:23, so I must have been I was getting fresh from my down week. I was feeling all right, to be honest.
You were really keen to go get the coffee beans, so I could tell that like normally there would be a little bit of toing and throwing before you were like, oh fine, I'll go do it, sort of thing. But you were keen, so you must have been feeling half decent, because then you were like, yeah, bang straight down there. You were very keen to do more.
Yeah, you're out before 9 a.m. on a Saturday. That's early.
Yeah, it was. Well, my mum was here, and she doesn't sleep because of the road noise. So she was up at about 6 o'clock, and she'd been out on her run, and she'd returned by this point. So I needed to be up and look like I'm, up and about on a Saturday morning. So it was like, yeah, an unusually early start for me. I didn't enjoy it, to be honest. I also didn't get my pancakes made for me on my return from the run either. So it was a pretty disappointing Saturday, to be honest.
But you did have coffee, so.
But plenty of coffee, the most coffee, the freshest beans. But yeah, that was Saturday, and then I do take the afternoon off on a Saturday. It is kind of like my one thing that I intend to keep in for whatever mileage I'm running, is to have my Saturday afternoons to myself. So just the one run, and then just mentally preparing myself for the Sunday long run with Owain. After the one the week before was so horrendous, I had absolutely no confidence going into this one. And on theme with the week, this was also reduced in time as well. So it was meant to be 1 hour and 45 minutes, but it ended up being 1 hour and 51. But usually I've been doing like 2 hours 15. So there was, supposedly a half an hour cut back on this run as well, which made honestly, this one went by in a flash, because I've just half an hour off. 2 hour 15 run is loads in my head. But yeah, it was 30 minutes into 75 minutes at well, it was supposed to be 350s, but it ended up being 345s. But I think I don't know how you felt, Owain, but I felt pretty good on this run, and for the first time in any of the other runs, my heart rate is probably the most stable and under control it ever has been.
Shall I go first, or Dave? Do you want
to? Yeah, no, you go first. You could put your defense up first. Yeah.
I've been practicing this for a few days. I reckon I maybe said 4 or 5 times. I think we're a bit fast here, Jen. Or we maybe need to back off a bit, Jen. And especially, it was when I just had lap pace just for the 75-minute lap, and even maybe like 60 minutes in, where like you have to really increase the pace to actually change what it's showing at that point. And I think it did drop a second a K, and I was like, "Oh, we're moving. Yeah, we're going here." I did try.
To be fair, you did run about 3. You had 3K in the middle there where you ran 350s. I mean, every other K was like way fast, but
I tell you what happened. Owain saw 2 lads ahead of us when we were in Butte Park, right? And he put the hammer down. So there's a mile in there where we ran 5:52, and I've been dropped at this point, and I'm legging it back to catch him up because he's going past these 2 lads on the loop in Butte Park. So I think I am definitely not fully to blame for this.
We sort of caught them, and then I was like, "Oh, okay, we'll go past," and then we weren't going past them. And I said to you after, I was sort of hoping they'd make it a bit easier for us, but they didn't.
At which point we'd sped up quite a lot by that point.
Yeah. But I did try though, Dave.
Yeah, right. I believe it. So when I wrote this, there's like a chat wherever everyone wants to know what's up. I've written 1 hour 45, 75 at 351s or 612s. I've provided both conversions to be sure here, and then in caps, no quicker. So we tried, I think. Jen then blamed Owain. I'm guessing Owain's blaming Jen here. Yeah, I'll never know, will I? I'll never know.
Are you giving heart rate prompts as well, Dave, or are you just going pace?
I preferred heart rate and kind of effort. I really wanted Jen, particularly in the last when did the marathon block start? Probably like 6 kind of weeks ago. No, probably not even that much. 4 weeks ago, kind of thing. Really effort and heart rate based to begin with, because obviously trying to get Jen into the feeling of the duration and running for a long time at that kind of that pace and like tipping over like that. As we then probably progress forward, now I'll get more into kind of like the pace and the specifics of what Jen wants to run and kind of like start drilling down a little bit further on that. But this was probably the last week where it was kind of like, I'd rather heart rate, but I also understand that Jen running with someone's like really helpful. So it's like, make the best of both. Like, Owain's got a little bit of a say in that. That's fine. If he wants to go a little bit quicker, that's fine. I wouldn't expect you to necessarily drop, but ideally, I think the 351s, I think, is basically 90% of 330s, and that was the ballpark of where I kind of wanted this as a pullback kind of thing, and that's what I think Jen's kind of realistically aiming for the marathon. So that was the whole. That's where I pulled the number from at least. But then at the moment, even the Ponty run that they did, it was 3:44, something like that. So it's all been a touch quick, but as long as it feels good, I'm kind of like quite comfortable with it to a point. But that's where I think this kind of medium week down week so important, because we have been on the edge of quick quite a lot in the last 3 weeks, probably on everything. So like pulling back here just freshens everything up, make sure as we're absorbing it and we're not going to get too fried before we even get to the line kind of thing.
Sounds sensible.
And this was the first run where I got home and I actually I was fine. Like I was up and about. I washed my hair. Like I felt great all afternoon, to be honest. So I definitely feel like I judged this Sunday a lot better than I have previously, where I've got home and felt like a broken woman, and I haven't been able to function all afternoon. So I'll take that as a positive side. I also managed to get I think it was 5 gels down in an hour and a half. So
That's
I think
a
that's
lot of gels.
pretty good going. So that's what, like
25 gram gels.
30.
30.
Yeah, so it's like 150 grams, maybe.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
100.
Quick maths.
100, yeah. I was doubting myself then. I was like 100 an hour.
Yeah.
No, yeah, 100 an hour.
Yeah, 100. Yeah,
That's quite a lot.
150
Quite a
grams.
lot.
And I've managed to overcome my fear of caffeine gels as well, so I can do those too. So it's all looking positive.
So how many caffeine gels?
I just did one this time. I did one the week before, but I did it as my last one because I was really not confident. So it probably didn't. I couldn't really like figure out if it was gonna play havoc with my stomach or anything. But this time felt fine. So I think next weekend I'll try and do 2.
That's why we were fast. It was the caffeine gel.
Yeah, I was buzzing.
Oh, should have said.
Buzzing.
That gel is really good for Jen, to be fair. Sorry. Yeah, gels for Jen's
fine,
been...
haven't you?
Yeah. I've seemed to be really lucky, touch wood, that I can just handle them quite well. So hopefully that remains the same in the marathon. We'll see. But
what I want to know is, did Joe Klecker manage to take in 175 grams of carbs an hour during New York, which is what he claimed he was going to try and do on the Coffee Club podcast?
He's not reported back yet, has he?
No, and because he was experimenting with really high caffeine intake as well.
I'd be interested to get his.
He said high on, and then he said like 100 milligrams before, and I was like, that's like almost a coffee, isn't it? Like that's not that's not super high. So, but the carb intake was high. I think he said 100 milligrams before, and then he was doing more during, I think.
Before, but yeah, I think he was doing a lot during. Like every gel was like caffeine, I think, or every drink had caffeine in it. I'm sure he mentioned something like 600 milligrams over the course of a run, which is getting quite high.
That's a lot, isn't it? Yeah.
I sort of assumed that it was going to be like if he took everything in every bottle, it would be that. But actually, he's not going to finish every bottle. Like he's going to have half of it and then chuck it. So it's probably not actually that close. But I don't know, maybe.
Yeah,
that's impressive.
Maybe we'll find out. Maybe we won't. I always measure precisely how much is in each bottle, knowing that I need to finish this bottle. You see, that's how I would approach it. Not that I've got bottles with Valencia, but when I have, I'm literally taking my scales and weighing everything and going, right, yeah, this bottle has got 40 grams of carbs in.
Well, it's like taking a gel. I was saying that. Yeah, I was saying that to Owain because you had the big pouches. I was like, well, how do you know how much you're taking at one time if you don't have them in the little like 30 gram things? At least like I know exactly. Like I've had 30 grams of carbs right now. I'll have another 30 grams in 20 minutes, sort of thing. Like it's really hard to measure.
Owain had so many kilograms of those 90 gram pouches, but he just knows how much his sip is. I think.
He's like, oh, yeah, that's 20 grams.
It's just vibes. Just guessing it.
Just vibes.
So
yeah.
Did you how many miles did you end up with, Jen?
So I ended up with 17.6 miles with an average pace of 6:20s, with 75 minutes of that being at 6:02s, I think.
And total for the week?
Total for the week was 90 miles. So a little bit above the prescribed total mileage, but I'd say I was in within 10%, so we'll take that.
Yeah. And do you feel like you've had a recovery week? Do you feel fresher?
I would, except for I think I've got a bit of a cold, so I'm now battling that or trying to stay on top of the vitamin C. My legs feel great, but my head, my face and my head's felt a bit rough the last couple of days. But this evening I actually felt all right, so hopefully I've come out the other side of that. So it's a roller coaster, isn't it? This marathon training.
It is a bit. How are you feeling then, Dave? With 5 weeks to go.
I think pretty good. I'll be honest. I did want this week just gone probably a little bit lower. I think I did let, after obviously the previous week where Jen felt pretty like it was a tough week, I kind of said to her then, it was like, this week, you need to like play it how you feel every day. Like, if you only do one workout this week coming, that's absolutely fine. We need to make sure that we come out at the end of it ready to go, feeling a little bit probably more refreshed, because then I see it as this is like the real specific bit now. So there's like 2 really specific long runs to go, and then 3 midweek workouts. That's kind of the real hard bit now, because we're going to start dialing into paces and trying to be really specific with it. So, and then obviously the tape starts. So it's like this week was all about refreshing and making sure we're ready to go. So I probably saw it as more like 80 miles to try and really make sure we do pull back a little bit and make sure we do feel a lot better. But if it's come out at 90 and she feels all right, that's good. I think that's fine. And then, yeah, I think we should be good. All good sounds otherwise. This cold thing we need to figure out, but then I think we'll be okay.
I mean, one of the questions I had is you've done a lot of long runs, like 90-ish% of marathon pace, and you've done some shorter sessions where you've done stuff at marathon pace. Like do you 20 by K, Jen? Something like that?
Yeah, 20 by K on off. Average 3:35, so nearly marathon pace.
You haven't done much extended stuff at marathon pace, so like classic 5K on, 1K off, or like 16K at marathon pace.
Yeah.
Is that coming up, or is that something you're just going to leave?
No, that's definitely coming. Sorry, yeah, that's definitely coming. So that to me is when we start getting really specific. So I want, like I said before, I want to keep her kind of doing all the effort stuff. And there was a lot in my head. It was a lot like minutes and time based rather than being distance based, if that makes sense. So trying to make it really making sure it's within herself. I think you still got to pick out the kind of LT1, LT2 anchor points as well. Like I don't want to get too specific too quick. Jen's got to be as fit as possible, most importantly. And then we can start dialing in that kind of specific bit of how that feels. Starting to take on gels whilst we're running that quick as well. Like I think taking on a gel running 350s, maybe a bit quicker, is a different ball game to probably taking them when you're kind of going 330s. I don't know. We'll find out. She's taking them on really well so far, so that might be all right. But like you got to do that as we go as well. So this next bit's the bit where we're going to start touching that kind of marathon specific pace. But we're also now in discussion as to so what is the plan on the day? So like, what do we want to go through halfway in, all that kind of stuff. And I know Jen's got lots of ideas on that one.
I bet she does. Yeah. Throw up a front pack, isn't it, Jen?
Yeah, I'm going to just lead it right from the gun. I'm out there with the front pack, 2-stepping everybody in the group, doing all the work.
It is
just
what
hoping
you love
for the
doing.
best.
So yeah, it will be on brand. No,
yeah, hammer from the front.
Yeah, I mean, I think I never really come up with like what the exact plan is until I'm probably midway into the taper, because so much can change. Things changes so quickly, isn't it? And often it's been actually I think I can be a bit more aggressive, but it's again so much can change in the last month.
I think for Jen, it's kind of like making sure that it's not too like for what she wants to run. I'd rather see a real positive experience and we go through a bit slower, but we're coming back and we're really enjoying it and like really want to do another one at the end of it. Because like now this is like the commitment to doing marathons. I think like we're looking at, next 5 years, this is it. Like this is what we've decided we want to kind of target and want to do. So like we need a positive experience the first one, otherwise it could get a little bit like, do I really want to do this again? And I think you get like the build up of the blocks kind of thing. So like after the first block, the next block can be probably even the same and it probably goes better, or you know what to expect. So like you don't have the confidence crisis or you don't have the in your head stuff. It's maybe a little bit easier. I don't know. We're going to find out anyway.
Was this 5-year marathon plan presented to you, Jen, before the wedding or after the wedding?
It was actually at the wedding.
Yeah, in the vows.
Yeah, in the vows. Jen will commit to the marathon for 5 years.
you know, when we're doing the signing bit, she's signing there, like all the we've got them all listed out as well. Which ones, if you want to know which ones over which years, she had to sign them to say that she's going to do them.
On the dotted line, committed. She's a
Yeah,
marathon
committed.
runner.
I hope I like it, guys, because it could end badly.
No, I think you've done a great job of prepping so far. It's just the final few weeks, and I always think it's not getting obsessed and hung up about how his last sessions go. Like from experience, I've had them go really well. If they go well, you're generally on for a good day. But if they go badly, doesn't mean you're on for a bad day. Because I've had sessions that have not gone great in the last 3 weeks and come out with PBs.
Exactly.
Obviously, if it goes well, you're fit. You can't fake fitness. If you're fit, you're fit. But you can have bad days because of fatigue, training, cold, too much training, colds, bad conditions, all this stuff, and it's just not hanging too much on any single session. It's just my little bit of advice going into the final, like few weeks for you and everyone else running Valencia. And I will be obsessing about what splits I run in the last few weeks just as much as everyone else. But my rational part of my brain will be trying to tell me, don't worry too much if it's a bit crap.
Yeah, I think like for me, the biggest thing is going into the race with confidence, because like I have nothing to draw that confidence from. Like nothing I'm gonna, like I keep saying it every week, but nothing I'm gonna do in training is gonna be a replication of the race itself. And like it's like, where can I draw that confidence from that I'm fit enough to go and execute a race well, when I haven't got like the key indicator kind of track sessions that I would have previously done in the past. So I think for me, it's like, just like I say it to all the athletes I coach, it's like, just trust in the training you've done, and like, you know, be smart about how you approach the race and how you're going to run the first half and all this, but actually applying that to myself is like really, really hard, because like there's like a mix up of like communication in my own head, that if I tell someone something, I then can't go and like also do that myself. I know where the logic comes from, but I still find it really hard to like kind of draw on that and use that as confidence for myself too. So I feel like I've got to work on that in the next month as well, so I can actually stand the start line in a positive place, because that's half the race there anyway.
Yeah, I mean, that is where the experience comes from, because once you've done one block, you go, right, I've then got a reference point from which to work and see where I'm sitting. Like relative to your KPI sessions, you go, am I better or worse on this? Like how did it feel? What was my heart rate like? And not just looking at one single session, but when you've got a collection of 5 or 6 sessions, you go, right, I'm trending better here, and I reckon it's by X%, and then you can take the confidence. But going into your first one, I agree, it's really difficult. And athletes who I have much more confidence in predicting performance with athletes I've coached for multiple marathon blocks. When I have from one, I can have an idea, but I'm still looking at, right, what have you run for a half marathon? Like, what have you done? What have you done in training? But once you've done one block, it becomes so much easier to go, you're trending. Are you better or worse? Like, hopefully better. Then actually, how much better? That's where the magic comes. But I think you can get a really good idea from just building that collection of sessions that you go back to.
Yeah, definitely. And so I hope, like, the next month, we can put some good ones together that give me that little bit of confidence.
I think Jen's so used to kind of like always having something to compare to. Like when Jen ran 15:10, she could probably list you the Tuesday sessions or the Friday sessions, whichever they were, and what she ran and what she did. Same way when she came, whatever, at Liverpool Cross, and any peak race where she's performed really well, she'll have this like, and she's probably got it off by heart, but like this bank of data that she loves to kind of compare to. And I think this has been both really good, but then really tough for Jen, because it's like we've got nothing to compare to, which is probably could be a positive sign, really. Like we have nothing to compare to, but then when we have nothing to compare to, we struggle to kind of see, like, how am I going to put this together on the day? Like, this is a long way. How am I going to like put it together? How can I run at this pace for this like length of time? So the next few weeks are going to be key to kind of try and give her that a little bit more confidence as we're kind of as fit as we kind of can be. But I'm also, I think you mentioned it last week, I do listen to the pod, about doing kind of like practicing the carb load and all of that. So like in one of the next 2 Sundays, I've got it down as kind of like a proper replication. Like I want to do it so like we stand somewhere, like how long do we think we're going to be in this pen kind of thing? We're not allowed to move. Right, let's do the same thing. You do the carb load all before, gels, everything laid out, race kits on, the whole nine. I'll like probably wind her up to start with as well and be like, here we are at the Valencia Marathon. I'll go into the whole, because it's kind of like that thing of really trying to get her into the headspace of like, this is it. Like, imagine we're there and this is where it is. It's probably going to be on that Rose Inn loop as well, which will probably be the absolute opposite of what Valencia will be like. But it's trying to get into that headspace of like that, like, and that hopefully goes well. And then it's like, okay, we can do this. Like, I've done it up to a certain point, but like, it's not like we're ever going to be able to do like 20 miles at marathon pace to give her that real confidence, because that's just too much of a massive session. So it's kind of like trying to balance how much it is, but yeah, I think getting that real like race kind of day, and then in your head it's really set. So that is to come, which I'm sure she'll enjoy.
Rosen will never be so busy.
Yeah, no, that sounds really sensible. I think doing a few continuous or more continuous stuff close to marathon pace, the other thing that really give me confidence as well. But they give you the confidence, but you've obviously got really fit out of just doing the work you're doing. So it's that balance, isn't it, between just doing training, but also you need the physiological, but also the psychological benefits, don't you, from the training you're doing, giving you the confidence to really go and execute on the day, and also just getting what is a realistic pace. Because if you're going out and running 3:20s and you blow up and you go, well, that's not sustainable, is it?
And that's what comes back
even
to
with
that
the
kind
magic
of
that is
planning.
Valencia Marathon.
It's worth at least 2 seconds a K, surely.
5 seconds, I heard.
It's just downwind, isn't it? Downwind, downhill. That's it. It's easy. Just tip over.
Yeah, exactly. You just get on the train. Nice. Good week.
Yeah, good week.
Owain, should we move on to you?
Yeah.
Dave, please do stick around and give Owain some challenging questions, and me too.
100%. Normally I'm doing it in my own head kind of thing as I'm listening, and I'm like, why has he done that? Or what's he doing that? So I look forward to this, actually. Yeah.
Cool. So, I was coming off the back of Stroud half. So Monday morning, hour easy, moving a bit quicker than I thought. I was just going off of heart rate, and heart rate was like a couple of beats higher. It wasn't too much higher. Sort of Monday and Tuesday, my quads were quite, not too bad, but like definitely felt some DOMs. So, Monday, just an hour in the morning. 4:43 a K. To be honest, I was expecting like 4:55, but came out okay. So, maybe I could have slowed it down, but I'm not looking at pace until halfway through. So it's sort of like, it is what it is. We'll just go with it. Tuesday morning again, hour easy. If we weren't 5 weeks out from Valencia, like I would have done like 20 minutes both days, sort of thing. Like I don't see any point in pushing after a half, or most races, to be honest. But still feeling a bit domsy but in my head saying like I need to get out. Just that like post race, like you don't sort of almost couldn't be bothered to run, which is like pretty rare. Then in the afternoon on Tuesday, I did double, and my thinking with this was by the end of the run on Tuesday morning, my legs actually felt better than the start. So I just thought, well, it was a case of like go out every 5 minutes, be like, how are my legs feeling? And by the end of it, I actually felt better than the start again. So I was kind of glad I went out for another 30 minutes. Again, it's very much like just thinking about Valencia. Like, I wouldn't say do this unless you're 5 to 10 weeks out from a marathon. Just take the evening off. But
and you did explore a new route this night. It was noted in the comments, actually. Dave did note that. A new loop, new me.
I didn't want to do my normal 40-minute loop. And and then I started running, and then was like, where am I actually going to go? Because for 30 minutes I'd normally go through Haley Park, but that's closed. So and then I was like, oh, I'll just loop around. And my thinking was like, if I just keep it fairly close to start with, then it's easy to get back. So that was the thinking, and then just sort of meandered, and then I think I actually literally ended up right outside my house at 30 minutes, so I think that was pretty good.
Spot on.
Yeah, I know, pretty pleased with that actually.
Can you explain the LinkedIn reference on your comments here?
Oh, Dave connected with me on LinkedIn. I got home, I had a LinkedIn connection request from Dave, and then I saw all the letters after his name.
Oh,
I know.
No, definitely not compared to you guys. No chance.
No, that was an inside joke. Maybe shouldn't make that on the Strava comments. And then Wednesday again, just an hour easy. I think, to be honest, at this rate, all of my weekday sessions are going to be Thursday, just because I'm probably going to be doing like 9 to 5 at work on Thursdays rather than 8:30 to 4:30, and just that extra half an hour gives me it just feels like it just completely opens up the morning to be able to do a big session. Like my alarm for those sessions is still going to be like 20 to 6, but that's way different in my head compared to like 10 past 5 as an alarm. So
how's that sounding, Jen? 10 past 5 alarm.
I don't know how you do it. Like, massive kudos, because I generally don't think I could function at that time in the morning and get out and do like quality. Like, it would take me a few months to get into the swing of it, I think.
I noticed, like, today I wasn't in work, and I just faffed this morning, like, and it was like, oh yeah, like I've got loads of time to play with, and actually I didn't have loads of time. I ended up still rushing. But yeah, it's just like we said before, like you just have to. That's your window. You have to do it, which I think is quite useful. But so I wouldn't have sessioned this week on a Wednesday anyway. But so I just kept Wednesday morning an hour easy again. Again, like seeing people off the back of halves do like sessions on Tuesdays or Wednesdays. I was like, yeah, don't understand. I don't know how they had the motivation to do that, to be honest. But Wednesday evening did the sort of 40-ish minute loop was 43 minutes. Rachel said I'm being too mean to her, but at the same time, like we go run in the evening and it's like 5:26 a k, and then on the weekend she goes and runs and it's like 4:58 a k. And I'm like, what's going on here? why are you running 30 seconds a k faster without me?
Slowing it down, you are.
I got join your company, Owain. That's what it is.
Hopefully, yeah. I got dropped yesterday by her, so I don't know, not looking good. So then Thursday, so I guess my thinking the whole week was just get to Sunday, like just get to the Sunday session, like that's the main thing. And I was like, it doesn't, like I can just run easy all week and do the Sunday session. But by Wednesday and like Wednesday evening, like my legs were feeling fine. I think especially for like an evening run, my heart rate was really low on Wednesday. I think it was like 118, which is really low for me. Like for me, like just I start running, like I could be running at 7 minutes a k and it would normally be like 120. So I was thinking, well, my legs are feeling okay. Let's just do 10-minute reps, and if I get through 3, then it's 30 minutes of work, and it's and then it gets me to Sunday, and then at that point I'll just assess like every rep, just be like, how's this feeling? Not quite as early a start as previous weeks, but 7 a.m. start for that session. It was actually light as well, which is kind of nice. Didn't have to use the head torch at all. So I ended up doing all 6 reps. I did 6 by 10 minutes. I would say it was one where normally I take the first couple quite cruisy, so I aim for that like the midway heart rate between LT1 and LT2 that we've talked about, and then normally I'm able to like sort of increase the pace by like 5 to 10 seconds a k if I'm feeling good, as I just sort of like increase the heart rate to where LT2 is. But I sort of just I was just like, no, I'm good at this pace. Like my legs are feeling okay, but not amazing. And it's just one of those ones where like the effort and the heart rate didn't quite match up, not massively, but I think I would have felt like I was pushing really hard to actually get to LT2 heart rate. So just thought, just keep it here. Like this is a good session still. It's not the end of the world if I'm 5 beats below LT2 and just motoring along, sort of feeling fine, not feeling anything special, but not feeling terrible either. So, yeah, I don't know. It was fine. This is probably why I reckon I'm going to get a bit of a bollocking for this, but yeah.
I mean, I after a half, or any race pretty much, but definitely a half. I'm minimum 4 days of jogging. And then especially thinking you're going into a pretty tough session on the Sunday. I like the 10-minute reps. I think 10-minute, if I'm tired and fatigued, I go, right, I'm just going to cruise 10-minute reps and wouldn't be expecting my heart rate to get up to LT2. But I did see this thing, it's it feels like you're trying to ram something in there when maybe you didn't need to ram something in there. It's my thoughts.
I think I cycled to work and then I think I had like 3 meals like by about midday. Like I was really hungry. And my thinking was, it's probably one of those ones where like maybe I should have done like 3 or 4 by 10 minutes, not 6. But at the same time, I think if I hadn't done it, I would have been like, oh, I could have done the session today. So it was almost like it didn't feel like there was a right answer. Or maybe the right answer was to do a bit less actual volume in the session. But yeah, it was one where like I felt quite tired and quite maybe a little bit more fatigued in the morning at work than I normally would after a session. But then by the afternoon, I was feeling fine. I think, yeah, part of that was that literally, I had 100 grams of carbs during the session. And then I got home, ate a few things, cycled to work, had a big breakfast, like I basically like 1.5 times the amount of oats that I'd normally have. Then went and got more food and then like got some food for lunch as well. And then by about 2:00, I was like, yeah, I'm feeling okay now. So, yeah, I think dug myself out of the hole by eating quite a lot that day. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe probably not a right answer, but I don't think I did anything too terrible, but maybe not quite the right decision.
It's a big session,
What
is
do you
what I
reckon,
would
Coach?
say. Yeah, 60 minutes that's a big. I think that's after on a Thursday. If I think back to when I ran a half, my legs would still be like wrecked from that point, from like the Thursday. And then like you say, where you're trying to like horse something in, I think 40 minutes would be perfect. And like, don't worry about the 10-minute reps. Just do like 8.5-minute reps, or just make it up as you go along. Don't worry about the whole numbers. So you don't need to worry about
8.5-minute reps. What's he talking about here?
I can only imagine.
You knew I'd bite on that one.
Yeah, I can only imagine that the old snack cupboard got hammered when you got home, though. I can imagine it was rife. That door, it would have just been all in.
I maybe need to put a picture of my snack cupboard on the Insta.
Yeah.
We had a box of like 50 packs of like the mini Haribo, like the fun size Haribo packs, and I think I had like 7 of them before I went to work. Just I can just down them in one mouthful. Yeah, I was like, this is just one normal pack of Haribo, so it's fine. I was like, we're not getting any trick or treaters. Like, why did we buy this?
They're for me.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I know. I think, probably a little bit too much. I think I was surprised. Like, I did think by Thursday my legs would still be like quite domsy just from previous experience, but I don't know. Maybe it's a sign that I thought the shoes were good during the race. Maybe it was a sign the shoes were really good. But yeah, like I've definitely didn't do many races pre super shoes, but like, yeah, it's definitely in your quads. You feel it a long time, like after races still. I know Dan will be able to talk about racing in flats, but like that was maybe more your calves, right, and your Achilles that got busted with those.
My calves, yeah, they would be in a hole. They'd be in a hole. Racing my plimsolls. Spikes were the worst, but yeah. Yeah.
I think that maybe holds you back a bit more because like I've had like DOMs that like half DOMs before. It's just like you can't run hard at all. Whereas like quad DOMs, I think you can sort of push through it a bit more. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, probably not the right choice with the session, but I survived. I've survived for now. So yeah. Friday morning, just an hour easy again. I was feeling like I had a big dinner as well, and I had some more Haribo after dinner, and then I woke up feeling hungry, and I was like, oh, like I did wonder if it was a bit of a delayed, like, sort of response to like the race, maybe, like, and you just completely deplete your like glycogen stores, and then it does, like, I know it does take a few days to replenish. It's not like an instant, a couple of meals and they're replenished. So I wondered if that was sort of maybe a bit of play. But yeah, just again, Friday smashed the food. We in our lab, we got given a box of like fondant fancies, but like Halloween ones, and like no one else in my lab, like that, like a couple of them like don't eat carbs and stuff. So I was like, I'm the only one that's going to eat these. I was like, mission accepted. Like, and I had like 4 of them on like Friday morning, just absolutely smashed them. Um, and then in the evening, oh, this is going to set you off, Dan. Went out with Rachel again. We went out so late as well. She got stuck at work late, and we were like, oh, where's got? Some houses have really gone to town with the Halloween decorations, and there's this estate that's like by Rada Station that just has gone mental. So we ran up there just to see the Halloween decorations. Didn't get offered any sweets, but no, 27-minute double. Yeah, but we were both like, oh, we just want to eat dinner and go to bed. I think we got home and it was like, what time did we go out? It might have been like
7:30. You got out at just before 7.
Oh, just before. Okay, yeah. So gone 7:30, because we stopped to look at some decorations. Yeah, so yeah, that was late one. That was all we could manage. Sorry, Dan.
My Garmin's saying 6:54 p.m. here. My Strava, sorry.
Yeah. By the time we got back though, it was 7:30.
Oh, by the time we get back, okay,
Yeah.
got you. Yeah.
Just ready to eat dinner. Yeah.
Not worth. That doesn't really that's no fitness from that run though. It's
that needs to be struck off your total for the week, I think.
You can tell Rachel
5K.
that. That's Rachel's whole day.
Not worth
116 beats per minute as well.
I know.
What
yeah,
shape.
it was really dark for a lot of this. So, like what you're saying, like you don't know what shape, and I was like, sometimes it gets a bit dizzy because especially when I'm running next to Rachel and she uses like a chest torch, so there's like a light source down to the side of me that's moving differently to me.
Yeah,
it makes you quite dizzy as well. Yeah. And then Saturday, I ran to Penarth because Rachel was playing hockey down there, so I ran there and went via Broad.
sensational.
Yeah, I know, good. Yeah, so I had the Canal Sneggle. I think I pronounced that right. It was really good, massive as well. Like good value for money. It's just a really big cinnamon bun. Yeah, that was
the icing
that was good quality.
It's unbelievable. Let's just say that.
Yeah,
the icing is unreal. And I don't want to hear any hate towards Broad here. I'm not taking none of it.
I'm keeping my mouth closed, but I like your choice of shorts and your for your rum. Was that to stash your pastries in? Was it?
Yeah. Stash the card for the pastries. Yeah. Yeah, and I didn't know where I'd be meeting Rachel either, so I thought I'd take some extra stuff with me. So yeah, no, felt all right by Saturday. And then yeah, prepping for the long run. So yeah, like we said, we had strict instructions that we didn't quite follow. I did an extra 15 minutes at the start just because I sort of figured the week before was like my bit of a down week. So I wanted 2 hours. I ended up getting a bit more because I forgot that I'd have to jog after.
You were not,
yeah.
and you were not happy about that as well.
I know.
The look on your face. Oh no, gotta get back.
We'll get to that in a second, I think. But no, so met Jen. I think you mentioned it in yours, but like Jen was quite negative to start with.
I was miserable. You were
just like,
miserable.
how am I going to do this marathon? Like, this isn't going to happen. And I was sort of like being like, no, like once you're tapered, like once you've carb loaded, it'll be fine, sort of thing.
You were like the biggest hype man for the first 30 minutes. I felt so bad.
I was like, Jen, you've got to get to the marathon. Like, you can't. Yeah. But yeah, no, and then the 75 minutes hard felt good. Like I said, I did chuck out a couple of. Oh, we're a bit fast here, Jen. I tried. I did my best. I'd chuck it out, and we would slow down for about 200 meters. Yeah, I did think, because we ran down the Taff to start with, and I did think, oh, we'll get to the bottom of Butte Park, turn around, and then we've banked some time. Not that we want to do that in the actual race, but we banked some time. And then I was sort of like, oh, we can just cruise the rest of the way, but no, we kept motoring back up the Taff. We did the tight corner that we do, where we sort of then loop back round through the estate. And Jen dropped me out of that corner. So
I've just got more mobility, and I'm more agile. You know, I can just scoot around those corners.
You've actually got extra gears, which I don't. We were also moaning the entire way about how slippery the Taff Trail is. Just the amount of just wet leaves the whole way, and I think especially I've got some Adios Pro 3s that I'm wearing, and there's just no grip. You just feel like you're slipping every single step. So yeah, it wasn't nice.
You were not enjoying those shoes. I reckon if I had a gel for every time you mentioned the shoes, I'd have been on 800-900 grams of carbs.
You mean your Continental rubber was letting you down?
That's what it was. Yeah, right? I do have the carbon rod coming out of it, so I think it's completely split. So yeah, they're probably then. I don't know if they're going to make it these next two long runs. Yeah, not looking good.
Yeah. Wearing your honest shoes to then when you go back into the meta speeds, it's this is easy. I like it. It's a good idea.
I don't really. My honest shoes are my New Balance Moors that weigh about 500 grams each. So yeah, I'll definitely get dropped at Rosin if I wear those. Yeah, but yeah, and then we finished, and then I had to get across to Pontcanna. And I think in my head, I was like, "Oh, we'll finish somewhere between Blackweir and Parkland Start. It'll be fine." And then we turned around.
We did finish.
Yeah,
between the two,
we did finish
Parkland Start. Yeah.
And then I said to you, Jen, I was like, "Oh, do you want to walk for a bit?" And you're like, "Now we're jogging." And then we took off jogging, and it was immediately 4:30 a k. And I was like, "We're 2 hours in. This isn't a jog." And then as soon as Jen peels off to the left to go up along the cycle path. And I stayed on the Taff Trail, and then I can just see Jen just disappearing off next to me. And she's going up a hill, up a ramp. She's disappeared off, and I'm immediately 5 minutes away. Walked across Blackwood Bridge. Yeah. Yeah. But no, there was a good long run. I think I said last week, I did miss doing the long run. So I was happy to be back.
I missed you being there for the long run.
Yeah, it's been good company the last few weeks. And yeah, I did enjoy it, but I am also 2 more big long runs, and then we're done. Well, we'll still have a long run, but 2 more big hard ones, I think, and then.
Were you still feeling your legs from a half, or do you feel like you're over that?
No, by Friday they were good.
You managed to have quite a big week and still seem to have recovered. You weren't far off the mileage you were doing before.
Yeah, it was 136k, 10 hours 15, which was probably 30 to 40 minutes less than 40 to 60 than the previous 2 big weeks. So yeah, a little bit less. But no, I felt good by the end of it, and yeah, I felt good so far this week. So yeah, I think yeah, maybe risked it on the Thursday, which yeah, we're talking about that. There's loads of people at the session on a Wednesday after a half. And yeah, that was the only thing getting me through that session was Valencia and a couple more weeks sort of thing. If I didn't have that, then I definitely wouldn't have run at all, or I wouldn't have sessioned at all. But yeah, I don't know. I think that's where we talked about last week is that yeah, you want to race and you want to practice racing and stuff, but there's so many then additional things you have to figure out during the week of how do I manage this? Where maybe it's actually easier to just keep training through. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think everything you're telling me is you should have just run 71 minutes at the half and not wimped out and run 72.
I know. Yeah. Maybe next year. In 3 years' time when I next do a half.
3 years.
Okay, another 2-minute PB.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good week.
Hit us with yours,
Yeah,
Dan.
what's your week looking
Yeah,
like?
right.
This
I'm going to get an
absolute
overstick this week.
skyscraper. Like if anyone hasn't seen, go and look at Dan before he's run again. Go look at his this week compared to
His
the
Strava graph.
Just getting back to it. Right. So the context is last week I did 50k. Being a bit unwell, but I'm going to caveat it with I feel like I could be reasonably aggressive this week because I had taken the time to make sure I was well before I started the training. Right, so Sunday last week, I said I ran 10 miles an hour, hour 8 minutes, and felt actually like I could have done more, but what is the point? I'm still going to have an awful week in terms of mileage, so I'll just save it for next week. So I felt like I gave myself the time. So Monday morning then, so a couple of challenges this week in that it's half term and I would normally be in the childminders on the Monday and in school, but he obviously no school and childminder was away on holiday, so I've got him on Monday. So I got up early to run before Jemima had to leave for work, 4:16 a K, an hour 8. Heart rate pretty much back to normal, 120 beats per minute. I'm feeling pretty good, especially considering it's early for me. And then managed to double in the afternoon. Nye is now getting to the point where I can leave him downstairs, especially watching some telly for a bit. If he needs me, he'll come and get me, but I just ran on the treadmill for 50 minutes. After some nice pumpkin carving, I gave him a lot of attention.
Very good, actually.
Thanks.
Very good.
His design, my execution. So we were pretty happy with it, to be fair.
It is a cat, isn't it?
It's a cat. Yeah, it's a cat. He's a
fan of cats, isn't he?
He's a big fan of cats. If he sees any cats out and about, he's after them. He wants to stroke them.
I would say the whiskers aren't very. They don't match on both sides.
Oh, it's a bit picky. I see what you mean.
Some are sitting under the nose and some are sitting on the cheek.
Yeah,
looks like it's just been in a fight.
Yeah. He was delighted with it anyway, so that was good. So we had a super nice day, to be fair. Gymnastics, which is great. Just going to a gymnastics center and we just open it up for kids, so you can literally jump in the foam pits, go on the trampolines. It's good fun. So that was my S&C for the week, or for the month, I think. Doing some stuff on the bars there and balancing on the beams. So yeah, did 50 minutes on my treadmill. So that was a good start to the week. That's pretty happy with that. And then the rest of the week, I was in Sport Wales pretty much every day, doing testing with Welsh Athletics. So again, because it's half term, we're trying to get all their development athletes through the lab testing that they do a couple of times a year. So I had some, for me, pretty busy days and a few earlier starts. So I was although I started my session at 7:30, I was up at 6 to get into Cardiff and before rush hour and get ready for the lab to be all set up. So first session back, did 4 by 10 minutes, and I copied you for this session, Owain, and I just had heart rate up and thought, right, I'm not going to go chasing splits. This is going to be pretty rubbish. I've not done any sessions. Well, I ran no mileage last week and haven't done any intensity for, at this point, 9 days, I think. So I knew it wasn't going to feel... I put the expectations pretty low and thought, I'm just going to have heart rate up. I'm going to move through the zone, start off at LT1. Things are feeling good. I'll get up to LT2. If it feels bad at any point, I will just bin it off. So hoping to do 4 by 10. Did 4 by 10. So my LT1 is 155 heart rate and LT2 170. So I thought, right, first one be about 150 to 155 range, then 155 to 160, 165 to 170 for the last one. Is that right? Is that 4? Anyway, that's what I did and had a nice progression of a pace, 3:18, 3:14, 3:12, 3:10. And heart rates aren't great, but they're not awful. It was actually quite a lot better than I thought the session would go. I first one back. So I know for me that when I've had some illness, I'm always a bit crap. And I was less crap than I thought. So I took that as a win. And generally just felt well, which was a nice thing.
Good video of you as well on your Strava there.
You got papped.
Yeah. I got papped. Were you running, Dave?
I was, but I wanted to give you a nice big pump up, and I couldn't decide whether you were in the oven or like going well, because there was like no recognition that I was there. So I couldn't decide if that was like you're just chilling and it's easy and like you just like away with it, or like you're focusing. Couldn't decide.
So I had like 30 seconds left of my last rep here when you papped me, and I thought, all right, okay, I'll jog around the park. I'll meet him on the other side. I can run a review of my cool down. Never found you. And I was like, was he running at all? Was he walking? I couldn't even remember what sort of kit you were wearing. If you were like normal, like everyday stuff, or if you were in training gear. And I was hoping for someone to jog with my cool down. Didn't find you, obviously. So I had a bit of a lonely. I think I did a bit of a longer cool down for me. What did I do?
You did 22 minutes.
22 minutes. Yeah, I was already in this is going to be a big week mode, assuming I felt all right. So I had a bit of time until I needed to be in my lab. So I thought, right, 5K cool down.
Let's pump up the mileage.
Exactly. So yeah, that was Tuesday morning. My plan was always, if that felt fine, which it did, go and do another session in the afternoon. So got home, decided to go on the treadmill. I think the weather was actually all right, but I just wanted it to be controlled. I wanted to take some lactates as well, because sometimes if I've been a bit ill, my lactates have just gone like haywire. I felt all right, but lactate has just gone crazy. So 10 by 3 minutes on a treadmill. Started at the same sort of pace, but I finished the last rep at, but thinking this is in the mornings, but considering this is 3-minute reps and not 10-minute reps. And I think my treadmill is a bit generous as well, only marginally, but I think it's a little bit generous. I thought that'd be a safe place to start. And that felt super easy. So I did 19. I basically increased the speed a little bit every second rep, and would take a lactate every second rep as well. So if the lactate was good, I'd increase the speed a bit. So I went 19 kilometers an hour, 19 kilometers an hour, 1.7 lactate. Great. Moved up to 19.5, 1.7 after that. Moved up to 19.8. And now I was 2. And then did 2 at 20k an hour. That was 3.1, which was quite a big jump considering it was only 0.2 of a k increase. So felt all right. Heart rate was all right. Just kept it at 20 for the last 2, and it came down a bit to 2.6. So I don't know if that was a bit of just an error on that 4th lactate, or maybe I did just spike a bit and it came down, but was pretty happy with that. Felt better than this morning, reasonably smooth. And also dug out my my Metaspeed Tokyos as well, because it was on the treadmill, and they weren't going to get too battered. I thought it'd be nice to wear them, whereas I think I got a feeling I was in the Paris versions in the morning. Yeah, I was looking at my video.
You were.
Yeah. So that's probably helped with the speed a little bit too. But yeah, I was really happy with that. I felt that actually that wasn't too far off where I was before. Not like the best I've ever done, but all right. Running 3-minute Ks, probably actually 3:10 a K, but anyway, it's a treadmill, so who cares? So that was quite a big day. I think I was like 38k.
Are you going to be putting your name forward for the treadmill world champs?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, 100%. I'm all over this. This is my game. 5k on the treadmill, flat out. I think I'm a good treadmill runner because I've done too much of it.
When does the sign up open?
What is that, Jen?
When does the sign up open?
Oh, I don't know. Probably like 3 years' time, is it? I don't know what it is.
There used to be a runner that like would do treadmill 10Ks. I'm not going to name names here, but they would run like 28:20 on a treadmill, but would like struggle to rate 32 minutes outside. That's the kind of athlete you want, is it? Where you just like bound from step to step, and then you can just run like 4 minutes quicker. I'm guessing that's what we're going for here.
Oh yeah. I think I know the athlete in question. I've got a feeling he hacked his treadmill to allow him to go faster than he actually should be allowed to go on his treadmill. So
I think I've seen these screenshots as well.
Okay, right.
We won't name
Case
any
closed.
names.
No problem.
Yeah. But
treadmill doping.
I don't know. I think the treadmill question, I just treat the treadmill as the treadmill, because unless even with the lab treadmills where they are calibrated, they're checked every year, like the one in Sport Wales or one at Cardiff Met or whatever. When you're talking about those really fast speeds, air resistance becomes such a big factor, and people stick on a 1% grade to account for that. But if you're going over 20k an hour, you probably need 1.5-2%. And that's going to be individual for everyone. I'm quite a small guy. I probably have less drag than someone who's 6'5". I don't know. You just can't directly compare. Just use the same treadmill every time and just use it. Just say that is one condition. Outside is a different condition. Just like cross country and road. No one's going, oh, I ran a 10k cross country PB, are they? They shouldn't be if they are. Yeah. I'm sure people are.
Yeah, because the course is probably only like 9.5k anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, that was Tuesday. Wednesday, 16k. Again, early because I had to get in for testing. So it's a nice 6 a.m. run. Bit slow for me, 4:24k. So maybe it was a bit of maybe that's, and heart rate not great either, 121 beats per minute. I don't know if that's because it was just early, dark or whatever, but I did note it at the time going, oh, I hope I've not dug myself into a hole here already. 2 days into my comeback. And then got out in the evening, quite late, 7:30 start, because I had to wait for Jemima to get home. Well, she went out and actually did a hill session with her club, which is first bit of intensity she's done since the summer, because her Achilles has been in a bad place after running track when she wasn't ready to run track. But anyway, she can blame her coach for that. So 45 minutes, 4:15 a K. Feeling super good for this. I don't know. I this morning, in the morning, I'd been really struggling. Felt really good for this one. I don't know why. There's no rhyme or reason to. I think sometimes you just feel good, sometimes you don't. Do you? I felt good for this. Heart rate back to normal, 117. Thursday, so I was going to double, but thought I was going to have... I'd had a few early mornings. I was feeling pretty tired. I'd run late the day before, so didn't really fancy getting up. Thought I was going to have to take Nye to swimming lessons, but realised swimming lessons were cancelled because it was half term. So managed to do a bit of a longer run, and did 20k, an hour 26, 4:20 a K pace. I've got a feeling this was pretty wet, but I think default now is just it's wet, isn't it? That's what it's felt like.
Every day. Yeah.
And I also had a big run planned for Friday, so Friday was going to be a tricky one because I was supposed to be in my lab from 9 until 5. And really what I wanted to do was get in a bigger marathon specific session. I'd resigned to the fact that I was going to have to compromise and do another sort of double threshold type day because I couldn't fit in anything really solid before being in the lab for about 8:30 to set up the kit ready for the first athlete to come at 9. And then like on the Thursday afternoon, I had a WhatsApp saying, oh, one of the athletes, they've pulled a hamstring, they can't test. And in my head, I'm just going, please be the first or last athlete of the day. Please be the first athlete, or please be the first or last athlete of the day. Then I can get my long run in. And not that I wish injury on anybody, but it was the last athlete of the day. So, all right, game on. I can
they
not
would
get
understand.
up early. What's that?
They would understand.
Yeah, exactly. They were doing it for the greater good, I think. I reckon they were absolutely fine. They just didn't fancy coming and doing a lab test. No, they were definitely injured, but luckily for me, that gave me an opportunity to go do something longer. So nice to not have to get up super early to get something done. Had a bit of drama with this in that got the so my last athlete of the day finished at 3:00. Great, I will go downstairs, get changed in Sport Wales, pull out my bag. What I thought was shorts were actually tights, and it's 15 degrees out there. And my plan was to do 8x3K off a case steady, and I thought I just can't do this in tights. So put emergency call out on my WhatsApp group. Luckily, Dave answered the call, lent me a pair of shorts. So I'd started driving home at this point, so I quickly pulled over in that car parked by Pontcanna Fields, jogged over in my tights, got a pair of shorts from Dave, jogged back to the car because I'd got my phone and keys and everything with me. So I wasn't quite sure where your house was and needed to let you know when I was there.
Jogged at 3:48 a k.
I was hyped. So caveats here as well. I've gone mad on the currants, both New Zealand blackcurrant. I've taken like 6 of them today, and I've also been on the caffeine gum beforehand. So I'm really and I've got the stress of it's going to get dark at 5:10. I'm not going to be able to see, so I need to get going with this. So I'm pretty wired for this session. So jogging over at 3:45 a k pace, get the shorts, run back to the car. That was my 10-minute warm up. 10-minute, bit more, something like that. 10 minutes exactly. Load up with the gels. So plan 8x3K off a case steady. I was again thinking this is probably going to go a bit better than Tuesday, but not incredible. So really paying attention to the heart rate. As soon as, but actually felt great in that warm up. Thought it was probably just the caffeine, but actually felt super, super good. Ran the first. I was perfectly happy for this to be like 3:20 a k pace if that's what it needed to be. But out the gun, I was 3:10 a k pace. And pretty much average out the whole way. So 3:10, 3:10, 3:08, 3:08, 3:09, 3:10, 3:12 for the last one. It's about 7. I ended up doing 7. The floats were in about 3:30 a k. Probably was a little bit aggressive, but I just felt so good early on. And that did come back to bite me a little bit because I had planned to do 8. It was also by this point pitch black. I had a head torch, but I realized that when you're trying to run 3:10 a k pace, even with a head torch, that's really hard. And definitely felt like that perception like you were talking about earlier, Jen, but I felt like I was going even faster and was only getting slower. So pulled the plug at 7, thinking I could do one more, but I think the pace is going to drop off. I don't want to put myself in any more of a hole. I also don't want to break an ankle going around the corner or colliding with somebody. So called it a day at 28k, but came away with 3:15 a k and 159 beats per minute average, which I was super happy about. I think I said before like that 10x2k off a k steady was one of the best runs I'd ever done a few weeks ago on the perfect Rose Inn loop. Whereas this was quite windy. It was a bit warmer. Prep hadn't been ideal in terms of stress and all that. So I actually think this was worth it was worth more than the 10x2k I'd done. So considering a week ago I was getting down in the dumps about being ill and having a 50k week, I was super, super happy with this one. It just felt, really, really good.
Is your heart rate for this accurate as well? Is this normal for you in like a normal session like this? Because it looks like it like rises almost throughout, if that makes sense. Is that the monitor, or do you see that normally?
Drift. So it drifted quite a lot.
Yeah.
One thing I'm worried about, I think my thickness is in a fantastic place. It's more that durability that I'm a little not concerned with, but I'm not sure if it's. I haven't done that many long runs, and probably a little bit less. I've only done like one 40k run, and normally I'd have done a couple more. It was quite warm, and I've not taken on any fluids at all, so I think that might be a bit of a factor. I also find though, once you've done a full carb load properly, done all that stuff and tapered, I don't drift as much. But I did drift a lot, but more and so that my heart rate was just really low for the first like couple. I was having to hold myself back. I ended up doing I had an average lap pace off of my watch and was down to like 306 a k. Like so on the second rep, I'm like, now back it off a bit. This is only. I think I'm in good shape, but this is a bit aggressive for like second session back. But fully expected to be able to do that at the end, and then it was actually fading a bit. So yeah, I did have quite a lot of heart rate drift. But maybe that is the fact that I've just missed a week, and actually my volume for the last month has just been a little bit lower because I've been tapering into Cardiff half, recovering from Cardiff half, a bit of illness. So yeah, it's definitely, it's on my mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, good day. Cooled down did 2k cool down, so that got me 20 miles of a day, 32k. Saturday, so Jemima and I were going to go over to Swansea, but that was on a provision that I had Nye in the morning, so Jemima could have a bit of a lie-in and a bit of a break. So we went out to parkrun. Driving in, the weather was horrendous, and I'd nearly just turned around thinking I can't push him around in a buggy. It's just mean on him. He's have like a shell. He's got like a little like plastic sheet that goes to the top, so he'd be bone dry. But it was like you can barely see rain. But miraculously got into Newport and it was actually quite nice. Stopped raining and managed to get a little bit of extra volume in first. So we jogged nearly a mile first and then did park run, but kept it pretty chilled. 21:44. Pushing a buggy around through the mud. I was covered in mud by the end, and then straight to a cafe afterwards because Nye loves his cake at 9 o'clock in the morning, 9:30 in the morning after parkrun. It's a bit of a tradition, but expected to feel really sore and just didn't. And then in the evening, I doubled, and I haven't normally on a Saturday, I have just been doing one run, but I saw this as an opportunity to get a bit more mileage in because Jemima and I were now in Swansea, and I was eyeing up my mileage totals for the week and thought I can get to 200k here. And just felt like I hadn't done anything yesterday. Like my legs were just fantastic. And considering like what a state I was in, not a state, but I was working really pretty hard at the end of a 7x3k. I just bounced back like super, super well. And the same was true on Sunday. So I met up with Dan Hamilton. We did 24 miles. I messaged him saying, are you long running? Because I didn't fancy joining you guys for 6-minute mile pace. I message him and he goes, I go, what are you doing? He goes, I'm doing 24 miles. I'm happy to do anything between, by pace-wise, 3:30 and 4:20 a k. Which my interpretation was that's a massive range there, Dan. What are you after here? And I said to him initially, like 4:20s, max of 4-minute Ks. That will do me. I expect to feel pretty tired, and it's a big week. Woke up in the morning, and I just felt like great. Messaged him and said, I wouldn't mind doing a max of 3:45 a k, which I know is what you guys ended up doing. And he's backpedaling now at this point, going, actually, I think we'll see. That's tempting, see how it goes. But it was also a beautiful day, wasn't it? It was like perfect conditions, like sunny. And I was like, let's make an opportunity of this. It'd be great. I get to his house and he's like, no, you can just get the vibe that he definitely didn't want to be doing anything near 3:45 a k pace. So we averaged 4:17s, which was more than fine by me. The longest run for time I've done in so long, 2 hours 45 minutes. That's I don't think I've done a 2 hour 45 run this year. But really pleasant company. Dan's a 2:15 flat marathon runner, so I don't get a chance to run him that often, but he's another Ponty boy, and it was actually, time went pretty quickly, but just felt great. I if I'd been left to my own devices, I would have picked it up a little bit, but it was just nice chatting with Dan. Now, I was really happy with that week. 202k, maybe a few risks in there, but actually feel like I came out of it fine. And just, yeah, good solid week. But I'm going to go back to this like recovery thing. And this is like a theme I've had in my block where I feel like I'm going really quite hard in some of these specific sessions, but just bouncing back fine. And again, we've talked about it a bit on the show over the last few weeks, but I've been taking these like New Zealand black currants, which again, I'm normally super skeptical about any supplements, but this actually comes with quite a lot of research, and especially like for the muscle recovery stuff. So the active component of this is anthocyanins, which is like a polyphenol, and they're basically like antioxidants, which work by like mopping up any of like the free radicals, reactive oxygen species you get from just accelerated metabolism. So whenever we like generate energy aerobically, we produce free radicals, and actually that's quite normal. And the more our metabolism ramps up, so like when we're exercising and training, we produce more, and some of that is good and part of a normal training response. But if we get too much of that, that's when we get like muscle soreness, fatigue, and it can start hampering like recovery process. So these like anthocyanins within the New Zealand blackcurrants are marketed as like a buffer to these free radicals, reactive oxygen species that you produce during just training day to day. And but they don't completely block it, because you don't want that. That's going to hamper some of your training adaptations. Like there's papers out there that say if you are smashing vitamin C tablets all the time, you actually shut down some of those adaptation pathways, because you need some of that oxidative stress to really drive mitochondrial adaptations. But the idea is with these, they're a bit of a buffer, and so it's just stopping them getting to too higher levels. And this is like my 12th marathon or something, and it's been like a step change in recovery in terms of I would never just be able to bounce back quite like I have done. And then obviously I'm a scientist who did a bit of reading, and there are some quite good studies, because supplement studies are normally really bad. Owain will testify for this. You normally look at them and they're just like a bit like 5 participants, whatever, not blinded, X, Y, and Z, done really badly, like paid for by the nutrition companies. But I found a really good one actually for the anthocyanins within the New Zealand blackcurrants, and they used like a model where it was eccentric loading of a bicep, but that's just a great way of inducing loads of muscle damage. And like blinded, so my participants didn't know which they were taking. 27 participants, a pretty good N. And they basically smashed the bicep curls, created a load of DOMs. Half of them were on New Zealand blackcurrants, half of them on a placebo, before in the week leading into the run, into the session, and then like in the days afterwards. And I just perceived muscle soreness was down, strength recovery was faster. So the New Zealand blackcurrant group had like 96 hours. Within 96 hours, they were completely back to normal, whereas the placebo group still weren't at full function. And 96 hours later, they were still at only 85% of their pre-intervention function. And then like units of muscle damage, like markers of muscle damage as well, like massively reduced. So one of the key markers for muscle damage is creatine kinase, which is just something that is in a muscle fiber. If you have muscle cell damage, then these proteins just leak out of the cell. So if you measure it, it's a great way of measuring muscle damage. And they were reduced from 4,000 units per liter in the placebo group to 600. So it was like 85% lower in the group that had been taking the supplement. So I would never really praise supplements, and obviously I don't take anything other than caffeine sometimes bicarb, but more likely not these days because it just gives me the shits. But I'm actually noticing a difference with these, and they've gifted us these products to try. So full disclosure, but there's a link in our bio, but you can go look them up, and I'll link this study in there too. Looking at the evidence and just my perception of using it for like 3 months now, they really seem to, at least perceptually, be helping me. And for me, it could be a placebo because I know I'm taking it, but I have noticeably felt the difference. I don't think I'd have been able to do 200k weeks without and big sessions without taking it. But now going into the final 3 weeks of a build, I'm thinking, do I go actually make full advantage of this and be even more aggressive? And when I get to that point where normally I just switch the session off because I'm working too hard, do I just push it a bit more? That's probably just being greedy. But anyway, I've fully bought into the hype.
It's powered you through a massive week.
It has powered me through a big week and some like really good sessions, and I feel obviously I feel like I've done 200k, but I feel like I could go to another 200k, which is the most important thing, I guess.
Well, I managed to put back-to-back weeks of the highest mileage I've ever done in my life together in the last however many weeks. So there's got to be something behind that as well.
Yeah, I think there's something in it. There's actually some good evidence to support it. There's a good mechanism of action that's been pretty well documented. So if you want to go check them out, there's a link in our bio. You can go make your own judgment.
We're gonna try and chat to one of the researchers, aren't we? So, or a researcher that has researched.
Yeah. We'll try and get someone who's actually independently looked at it as well. But an hour 46, that might be a PB for us. An hour 46 of recording.
I've got one last question, Dan. If one of your athletes quadrupled their mileage, what would you say?
So it's not quadrupling yet. Quadrupling from last week, but I have done 200k weeks reasonably recently, and I think what I would say is if it had been another week of 50k, that's when you got to be careful. But I think when it's just one down week, then actually it's not that big a jump, because the week before I've done 160k, the week before that I've done about 160k, so then it's only a 40k jump. And actually I've also done 200k weeks reasonably recently, so I don't think it's completely stupid. I probably wouldn't have given it to one of my athletes, but then it's like you said, Dave, when you're living with Jen, you can see how she's doing day to day. And I was mindful that I wanted to ramp the training up, but also fully happy to dial it back if I felt like I wasn't coping with it. Now, my normal trap is I do the 200k week, and then I get to Tuesday of the next week and think, actually, I've overdone it here. But I've started off a week strong, so I'm pretty happy with how things are going.
No spoilers for next week.
No spoilers. Yeah. No spoilers. But I'm all I'm going to say is that after a bit of injury or illness or whatever it is, the first session is pretty bad. The second one is a bit better, and the third one is just gets better again. It's a step change. There's 3 step changes, and then it sort of levels off. So I'm due based upon the progression of Tuesday, Friday. Tuesday, day of recording, I was due a step change, and the step change happened. So I'm pretty happy with how things are going.
So just
big
should we wrap that up?
Yeah, big PB in Valencia.
I had
Dave's
more grilling to do. I have more grilling to do, but I'll save it into one question, right? So when you were ill or whatever and coming into this week, have you then replanned back from 5 weeks out to decide, right, I know what I need to hit, I know what I think, I know what I think I need to do. Have you gone through that, or are you kind of going day to day as you kind of feel, know what you sort of want to do, but yeah, seeing how you kind of go, or have you planned out?
Tuesday I was pretty happy with. I thought that actually, yeah, 4x10, that's pretty standard. If that goes well, I can do something in the evening. The Friday was one I had questions over what I wanted to do there. Was I ready to jump back into something big? Did I want to go and actually regress it and do 1K on, 1K off? And then because what I didn't really want was a negative experience of going in and going, actually, I'm so far off where I was when I did the 10 by 2K off a case steady. Then I thought, do I just repeat that one? And then you just fall into the trap of comparing. Then I was thinking, do I just do a long, continuous run instead? But I felt like I wanted more intensity in there than just a continuous run. I felt like you want the fitness before you have the durability. So I ended up pretty much sticking to what my initial plan had been, which was to progress it from the 10 by 2K to 8 by 3K, minus I didn't get to a full session. And now looking back retrospectively, I'm thinking, yeah, that was great because it went really well. But if it hadn't gone well, I probably would have regretted it and I've wished I'd regressed it back to a K on, K off, or just done something that I couldn't compare. So just, yeah, some session I'd never done before. That was the one I did spend a lot of time thinking about what I was going to do, and then ended up just doing what I'd initially planned already. I think my main goal for this week was just to get back into that Tuesday, Friday routine, because I know how my body should be feeling every day. I really wanted that. So I didn't want to have to push things around. I just wanted to get back on my normal rhythm as quickly as possible, and then hopefully do that for the next 3 weeks, because that's what gives me confidence. And I don't want to end up trying to shoehorn sessions in when I'm not ready. So yeah, to answer your question, I feel like I'm just rambling now.
But no, that's good. No, the only other thing I had was, well, how much risk are you willing to take 5 weeks out then? How much? How far? What is the plan? How much risk are you willing to take on?
Yeah, that's again been on my mind, and this is the point in the build where you start getting influenced by what other people are doing. I'm looking at I was on a treadmill watching Jake Barraclough's YouTube, and he was on 280K a week. Phil Sessman is like bounced back from his marathon and he's running 240K weeks or something. And in my head, I'm going, well, maybe I could. It's only 4 weeks to go. Maybe I do 200K this week and then try and run 240K for the next 3 weeks. And I'm happy to take some risks, but then my rational brain goes down. You've never done actually 4 weeks of 200K, so that would be a risk in itself. I'm confident that that's achievable without putting me in overdoing it. So that's where I've settled. I'm just going to try and run 200Ks for the next 3 weeks with the same sessions, similar sessions to what I would have done before. So actually the main increase is just easy running. So I feel that's reasonably low risk in terms of if you're adding new stuff in. So that's where I've settled. So a bit aggressive, but not stupid, I'm hoping. We will see.
Find out next week.
I do want to go make the opportunity of running Valencia in a good time. And the thing is, after doing the session I did today, but also Friday, I actually then get the confidence from that and feel like I need to be less aggressive because I actually think the fitness is in a good place. It's when you're not fit that you think, right, I need to take big risks here to really get back on track, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
We'll see you next week.
Yeah. It could be another 200K week. It might just be 50.
No, I'm confident. I'm feeling good. With 20 days of training now, isn't it? Basically 19 days of training.
Gosh,
then taper.
Not far.
Just to put it out there. So how much damage can you do in 19 days? We'll find out. Stress fracture.
Crutching your way around Valencia.
Yeah. No. Cool. Let's wrap that up there. This is a long episode. I knew it would be. But thanks for listening. We'll be back next week. 3 weeks to go, is it? No, not 3 weeks to go.
4 weeks to go.
4 weeks.
4 weeks to go. 4 weeks, not wishing away weeks. Yeah. Thanks, everybody. Cheers, Dave, for joining us.
Cool.
Yeah, cheers, Dave.
Thanks for having me.
Speak soon.
Bye.